This broadcast of ICC Athletics is being brought to you by Renaissance Bank, Little Caesars, Davis Ford, the Sonic of Fulton, Tupelo Coca-Cola Bottling Works, the Orthopedic Institute of North Mississippi, First American National Bank, the ICC BSU, your Itawamba County Farm Bureau agent, Joey Cox, Cagle Eye Center, the ICC Foundation, the Bank of Okolona, and the ICC Alumni Association.
With the Little Caesars mobile app, you can customize an extra most bestest pizza with the most cheese, and now with the most of any toppings for the nation's best price. It's the crowning pizza achievement. And it's true what they say, it's lonely at the top. Unless you have an extra most bestest pizza, then it's a party at the top!
Little Caesars Extra Most Bestest Pizzas, the world's easiest way to outrageous amounts of toppings, starting at $6.
Pizza.
First American National Bank is a local bank. Our 10 locations are right here in Northeast Mississippi. Banking decisions are made locally by people who live here. It's been that way for more than 50 years. Our involvement in the community is important to us. That's where our roots are. Technology, it changes daily, but our community is what keeps us together. If you like high-tech banking, we've got that too. Follow the flag to First American National Bank, from Iuka to Tupelo.
Davis Ford in Fulton is your Ford dealer for new cars, trucks, and SUVs and has a wide inventory of certified pre-owned vehicles. Find your next dream car or truck from our Ford showroom or go online to davisfordsales.com and search our new and used inventory to see what is on our lot. So stop by and test drive the all-new fuel-efficient Ford Focus or Ford Fusion or the new Ford Explorer or F-150. Go further with Davis Ford, 904 West Main Street in Fulton or online davisfordsales.com.
And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, as we get set for the start of the men's matches. If you missed the first match of the day, you missed a really good one as ICC upset the number 17 team in the country, Holmes, 3-2. As it was an instant classic between two of the top teams in the North. If you're a fan of soccer, one, you tip your cap to both ladies squad, but if you're a fan of competitive sports, no matter if you keep up with soccer or not, that was just a great match between two of the top teams in the North Division. Of course, you imagine what ICC would love to see them again in postseason play for sure. As we're getting things started here in Fulton for the men's match, ICC in their all-white kits and Holmes in their all-maroon kits. ICC right to left on the attack, so of course Holmes will go left to right on their attack as ICC quickly will have a corner opportunity here to start the contest. This one sent in, trying to go for the header, looking for the back post, now sent over the middle. ICC keeping it on their side of the pitch, but now Holmes will control it. Holmes, I said all maroon kits, it's actually a maroon shirt and black shorts. As Holmes with it now, trying to apply the pressure. The last time these two teams met, ICC picked up a 3-0 victory at Holmes. The Indians, they come in with a record of 7-2 overall, 4-0 in the North. A game in front of Hines in the North Division. Holmes comes with a record of 2-8-1, 1-3 in North Division play. They are currently are actually tied for third place. Holmes, Northwest, and East Central, all with 1-3 records there in the North Division. So anticipate this being a pretty physical and hard-fought match here this afternoon, as we saw in the women's match. We'll be joined momentarily here in the ICC Alumni Association and Foundation broadcast booth by Coach Davis Strother. He typically joins us for the men's match to help out with a little play-by-play, and of course we'll talk with him about today's win in the first match of the day. So ICC going to try to complete the sweep of Holmes this afternoon as this ball sent across the middle. Now ICC on the attack. Sending this one ahead, this is Carter Chandler, and he just missed the touch that time. It goes out of bounds, and Holmes will have it on the throw in. So Holmes surveying the ICC defense. Now they get set to throw it in. This one deflected around, and White will clear it out, and ICC will keep it. Chandler now drops it over the middle. That's to West, Cameron West, who had it, lost it. So be sent into the backfield, and ICC will recover nicely, as that was Braden Helms. We have said his name early and often throughout this season. A pivotal role on that back line for the Indian. As this one's sent ahead, and that's going to be Carson O'Daniel with it now. O'Daniel weaving his way through traffic now. Soft touch over the middle. Indians try to get it right back, but Holmes quickly dropping 3 players around the ball to quickly smother that one and snuff the attack by the Indians. Now they go over the middle, looking for the header, looking for back post, and missed opportunity there, as that was Boyd charging in hard that time. I think Boyd at the last second kind of saw that he was getting in quickly on the back post and tried to avoid making contact with the post. Almost got the deflection off the header from O'Daniel, so a missed opportunity there early for the Indians. 41:39 to go here in the first half of play. Still scoreless between ICC and Holmes. Again, if you're just now joining us, rejoin us Thursday night as it's Holmes week here at ICC, as we'll be taking on Holmes for homecoming. And Holmes picked up a big win last week, a 47-42 win over a top 5 team in Northwest. And so they'll be bringing that momentum to Fulton for homecoming. If you're in the Fulton area, homecoming will start at 3 o'clock with the pep rally in the lawn of the Davis Event Center, and then we'll have our Alumnus of the Year and Athletic Hall of Fame induction ceremonies inside the Davis Event Center following that. Of course, those honorees will be recognized at halftime of the football game, which will come your way with the Davis Ford pregame show at 6 and the First American National Bank kickoff at 6:30. You can listen to it on Super Talk 101.9 FM, as well as watch it live here on Let'sGoICCTV.com, the Red Channel. And before you know it, now we're in October, and then November basketball season will be rolling around as well. We'll have the release of that basketball schedule coming up soon on Let'sGoICC.com. So the throw in taken away by Holmes. They're going to try to clear it out, and ICC gets it back. West trying to send it out wide. Poor touch as White, though, keeps it, and it stayed in bounds. So West now is going to try to reset the offense. This is Carson O'Daniel with it, weaving his way through traffic, and it bounced off the back heel of the referee, but it stayed at the feet of the Indians. Now sends it ahead, now keeping it back, and Boyd will watch it go out of bounds. Boyd just wasn't able to get enough foot on that one as he tried to send it ahead to Marquez. Marquez tried to send it back between a couple of Holmes players, and the ball now will go back to the Bulldogs. Inside 40 minutes of play here in the first half, and there's O'Daniel. Nice takeaway that time on the part of Carson O'Daniel, as now he's weaving his way through traffic. Beautiful stop that time by the Bulldogs, as now ICC is going to try to flip the field position. Goes out wide. This is Josh White with it. Over the middle, here comes an opportunity for the Indians. Squeezing this one ahead. The Bulldogs take it away, but there's ICC to get it back. It's going to step in front of it, deflect it in. Oh, just wide. Well, a good job that time by Diego, hanging around and had a chance to get that one off a deflection. But the Bulldogs had a lot of bodies in between him and the net, and the keeper was able to not only save it, but keep it from going out of bounds to keep the Indians from having a corner opportunity. Mitchell trying to get to the ball and does so, keeps it in bounds. No, they're going to say it went out of bounds. And so now the ball will go back to the Bulldogs. 38:57 to go here in the first half of play. If you're just now joining us, the Lady Indians picked up an impressive 3-2 win over number 17 Holmes in the women's match. The Indians going to try to complete the sweep with a win here in the nightcap. Miserable hot day, let's just say it that way. It's 97 degrees. Topped out as the high, and that was during the women's match. A little bit of cloud cover during the women's match, but not a lot of it, and that's the case here for the men's match as well. White with it, lets it settle at his feet near midfield. Now pokes it ahead to West. West looking for someone to go with him that time, nobody there. Good job by Holmes' defense to take away the angle of attack from Carter Chandler and force the turnover now, and Holmes will get it back. Coming up on 38 minutes now. Still scoreless between ICC and Holmes. The Indians, winners of 3 of their last 5 matches, dropped that hard-fought 3-2 double overtime decision against Holmes in their last home match. Rebounded with a 5-0 win, with all 5 goals coming in the second half at Andrew College. That was on Saturday. Holmes, losers of their last two matches. They dropped a 3-2 decision to Meridian and a 2-1 decision to Southwest. They did pick up a 4-2 win against Andrew. Their wins this season, an overtime win at East Central, 3-2, and as we just mentioned, that 4-2 win against Andrew College out of Georgia. Now here comes the Bulldogs. Let's just talk about this. We do know that ICC can lock up a spot in the playoffs with a win this afternoon, and if they get that win, then the magic number goes to 1, which will be Friday night at 7 at Hines. There will not be a broadcast here on Let's Go ICC TV, and I don't believe Hines streams their soccer matches either, so we'll try to keep you posted on Twitter at Let's Go ICC on that one there. And of course, if the Indians win that one, they win the North Division. And here's the thing as well, if the Indians do that, they advance to the state tournament, and it will be hosted at ICC in 3 weeks. But still a lot of time to go before the Indians can do that, and now here comes Diego with it. Squeezes it ahead to Chandler. Chandler showing off his jets. Out wide on the left wing, now sends it across. Looking for Daniel on the backside, and it's there, but just a little too wide that time. Nobody from ICC there to clean things up on the backside. Good idea that time by ICC, just couldn't quite have anybody fill in on the back post there as West takes that one away. Good hustle on the part of Holmes to break up that opportunity, and returned by a good hustle by ICC to get the ball back at midfield. West squeezes this one out. That's Clayton O'Daniel, who goes back now to Marquez. Marquez pokes it forward. Now gets it back from Clayton. Marquez fires left-footed. Not a bad idea that time, just seeing if you couldn't catch the keeper a little bit out of position. But a shot right at the keeper, and Holmes makes the save. Now this one sent out wide. This is Clayton O'Daniel. Squeezes that one across the middle, broken up, and it'll be a corner opportunity coming up here for the Indians. Second corner of the day here for ICC. Indians looking to make this thing dangerous here. See if they can find that breakthrough goal here. 0-0 your score with coming up on 35 minutes here in the first half. Now they're going to back up the Holmes defender, and ICC decides to go with the soft touch and a tackle on the play that time. And so essentially just walk the corner up about 3 or 4 steps, and ICC will do it again. And now this time Cameron West will come in to take this free kick. It is at an angle where you could make it dangerous here, but as we said, this is basically setting up as a much shorter free kick. Of course, West, being the left-footed player, will step into this one. Trying to bend it over the middle, and it's broken up nicely that time by the Bulldogs. The Indians trying to weave his way through traffic is O'Daniel. Nicely done that time by the Bulldogs to take it away, and now sends this one ahead. Now the Bulldogs don't have numbers, but a chance to break out wide here. The Indians break it up nicely. That was Caden Mitchell stepping in front of that one. Basically, ICC had numbers. It was a 4v2 opportunity in favor of ICC, but then there's a great play defensively by the Bulldogs to take it away. Holmes can't quite get to it. Looks like this will be Braden Hillams to break that one up, and the ball goes out of bounds. And the Holmes player gets a friendly bounce off the rocks before it goes in the ditch across the way. And so they throw it in. This is going to be number 10, Jacobs with the ball, working on the far side of the pitch. ICC smothering him defensively, and it's going to be a corner kick coming up here for the Bulldogs. Bulldogs running off as if they thought it would be a goal kick, but instead now the referee said it will be a corner opportunity here. So Jacobs will send this one in. Not a whole lot of life on the pitch right now from either team. As we said, 97, 98 degrees, just a few degrees away from 100 degrees this afternoon on October the 1st. As this ball sent, and just a little too long that time as the player slipped down for Holmes, and Chandler will get it now and sends it ahead to Clayton O'Daniel, who drops it back to Marquez. Marquez, a little trouble handling the ball, now sends it ahead to O'Daniel. O'Daniel surveying, see who's going with him, doesn't have numbers with him. Now we'll try to fight this one ahead. Good job by the Holmes defense to take it away, but there's O'Daniel showing his speed. Looking to go to back post to Boyd, and oh, the header too tall. Good idea by the Indians that time, just couldn't quite send it home as they were looking for Boyd on that back post. Just a bit too tall on the opportunity there for Boyd. And it'll be a goal kick here for the Bulldogs. 32 minutes and 8 seconds to go until halftime. Still scoreless between ICC and Holmes. Now here comes ICC trying to get this one out wide. This is O'Daniel, Carson O'Daniel with it now. Sends it ahead to Boyd, but a nice play defensively that time, as that was Barker flashing in to send that one out of bounds and taking that one away from Boyd. Sitting in the shade, still a premium here at the ICC Soccer Complex. Marquez with it, drops it back now to Cameron West, who's just going to send it right back to Marquez, and nearly sent that one out of bounds. And now the Indians going to have to reset it in the backfield. Good pressure by the Bulldogs, and Indians did a good job of staying patient with the ball, didn't necessarily panic. Now sends this one ahead. Across the middle, this is O'Daniel. O'Daniel looking to work 1v1. Fires, and oh, a beautiful save, deflected, and a great play. Good job. I believe that was number 5. Yes, it was. Barker coming up. If Barker doesn't make that play, ICC has an easy goal off the deflection. Beautiful play. Great effort on the part of the freshman defender out of Madison, Mississippi, coming up and keeping it a 0-0 contest. 30 minutes and 30 seconds to play here. ICC will throw it in. Ball broken up for a moment, but Clayton O'Daniel will chase it down. O'Daniel will leave it out wide to Marquez. Marquez squeezes this one ahead over the middle to Carson O'Daniel, who adjusts, fires left-footed, and a great, great save that time on the part of Colby Fair. Man, the Indians applying all sort of pressure, but Holmes' defense has been lights out on the last 3 attempts by the Indians, and that will result in the 3rd corner opportunity this afternoon here in the first half for ICC, as West will go to the left side to send in this corner chance. Indians need to find a way to make this one dangerous. They've had some opportunities to score, but again, that defense for Holmes has been lights out. This one's sent high. Mitchell's going to put a header on it. Too tall. Well, I like the idea of getting Caden Mitchell in there, as he does have a pretty decisive height advantage of everybody on the pitch right now. Just couldn't quite get on top of that one enough to send it home. Substitution coming into the match here for the Bulldogs. This is going to be number 12, Lawson Lyle, into the contest. This substitution being brought to you by the ICC Baptist Student Union. They meet tomorrow at lunch. Follow them on Twitter at ICCBSU to find out what they'll have. All they ask is bring $2 and a friend. Don't forget about that $2 for your friend as well to treat them to lunch and worship at the ICCBSU. So the Indians being very patient with their attack here. Swings it out wide now on the opposite side of the pitch to David Marquez. Marquez leaves this one out wide to Boyd. Boyd back over the middle. This is Carson O'Daniel. O'Daniel able to dribble this one in. Now swings it out wide to Cameron West. West squares, fires, top shelf, but too tall. A missile off the foot of Cameron West, like a knuckleball as it kind of shifted as it got midair that time, and just about a half a foot too tall as it goes over the crossbeam and still remains 0-0. Man, the Indians flooding the attack here, just can't quite send anything home. Substitutions getting set to come into the match here for ICC. It's going to be number 20, Lando Nichols, coming in, and then number 5, Cade Knight, into the contest as well here for the Indians. And it looks like number 2 for ICC will check in here as well, Irvin Rodriguez. Those substitutions being brought to you by Renaissance Bank. Renaissance Bank, understanding you, RenaissanceBank.com. Don't forget to visit Renaissance Nation as well to see some of the videos, the SEC shorts they put out each week as well. That's RenaissanceBank.com. Also, speaking of Renaissance Bank and soccer, Saw where Renaissance Bank announced last week that they will be the jersey sponsor of the new Nashville soccer team. So congratulations to Renaissance Bank as they continue to expand their brand, as this one sent ahead. Nobody there for the Indians. The Bulldogs going to survey and see what the Indians are going to give them and let it go short. Indians going to try to come up and apply some pressure here. Bulldogs do a good job of being patient, not panicking, and then there's Carter Chandler breaking it up. Chandler will get it back now. We're in the neon yellow, highlighter yellow. Kicks as they go backside now, and this shot fired. No, great save. Man, oh man, Colby Fair playing lights out here in this contest as he gets the save there to be another corner opportunity here for the Indians. A beautiful cross and an opportunity there off the foot of Lando, but just could not put that one on frame. Or excuse me, he did put it on frame, just could not get it by Colby Fair, the sophomore keeper out of South Haven. Looking sharp on that stop there. So Carson O'Daniel having to go chase down a loose ball here. Again, if you're a student or maybe even a fan of soccer, if you would like to come out and be a ball boy or girl to go chase down some of those loose balls. Tell you what, I'm not speaking for Coach Sully or Coach Strother, but we'll give you free admission if you want to come do that. As this corner opportunity over the middle, Mitchell puts a header on it, and that time got a little bit too much on top of it, and an easy save there as that one bounced into the hands of Fair. So Fair is racking up the saves so far in this contest, and my goodness, sends this one well down the pitch, and Holmes pops this one up, and it goes out of bounds. Big break there for the Indians as Botts came up and challenged on that one. And that one was popped straight up in the air, and my goodness, we talk about the ability of making the save so far in the contest. For Fair, he showed off quite the foot. I don't know if he plays football, but would be a heck of a punter as he just sent that one over the top of everybody and nearly turned into a scoring opportunity there for the Bulldogs. We stay at 0 as 25 minutes and 16 seconds remain here. We do anticipate that hydration break coming your way right around the 20-minute mark of the first half as ICC with it now trying to send it ahead to Chandler, and just not a good send on the touch that time as Holmes quickly surrounded the ball and taken away. So the Bulldogs will go short with it as they set up their attack. Clouds moving into the area, giving a little bit of a shade here on the pitch, a well-welcome shade for everybody, not just the players as well. This ball over the top, nice touch here, and trying to send this one back, and it will be at the feet of Hodge. Hodge trying to go to work here. And there's Helms taking it away, and it will be a throw-in here, I believe, for the Bulldogs. Yes, it will not be a corner kick. It will be a throw-in here. As they elect to go short with it, leave it right back to the guy that threw it in, and they're going to say a bad throw-in. So it'll be a goal kick coming up here for the Indians. Or no, this will be a spotted over here to the right. So the Indians got to be careful here as just a poor cross that time, but Mitchell let it settle now. ICC with it to Marquez. Squeezes it ahead to Marquez, trying to break across in the middle. Did a good job of hustling to the ball, and now Holmes really getting aggressive defensively. They forced a turnover. There's the Indians. That's Carson O'Daniel to get it back. Then poked away and taken back again by Holmes. Anything you can do, I can do better. And this exchange is now it ends up at the feet of Irvin Rodriguez. Excuse me, that was Rodriguez that took the shot earlier. Now sends it back, and Rodriguez trying to get to the outside, but Holmes is there to eat that one up, and it's going to go out of bounds. It'll be a goal kick coming up here for the Bulldogs. If you're just now joining us, the Lady Indians pick up a 3-2 win over the number 17 team in the country in the Holmes Lady Bulldogs. It was Stevens scoring with 7 minutes and 18 seconds left off a deflection. She sent home the eventual game-winning goal. Hayward had a goal, and Grace Joyce had a goal and assist from Allie Chenal on a play that will be nominated for next week's What a Play Wednesday. Join us tomorrow on Twitter and Instagram, as well on YouTube, for our What a Play Wednesday presented by Renaissance Bank. Madison Haley has that coming your way each week. As this one's sent wide and it goes out of bounds, and it'll go back to the Indians. 22 minutes and 30 seconds to go here until halftime, is joined now in the ICC Alumni Association and Foundation broadcast booth by women's soccer coach David Strother, and we'll continue our conversation as we watch play here. But David, first off, congratulations, a 3-2 win over the number 17 team in the country. Not only a big win in division play, but also one of those program marking wins this afternoon.
Yeah, man, it's just awesome result. MACJC, another instant classic here. I think the past 2 weeks we've had 2 of those, and just our opponent is like you said, 17th in the country, top 20 ranking for quite some time now. We knew they were going to be tough. We knew they were going to be resilient, and we knew they weren't going to go away, even if we got a goal or 2, if we were fortunate enough to get ahead of them. And we never really got that 2-goal lead. We would separate and get 1 goal, and then they'd come back and get back into the game. And that's just all credit to them. They're resilient. They're scrappy. We know that we're probably going to see them again if we continue to progress, and they do as well. We'll see them again in the MACJC tournament, and we know that that's going to be one heck of a match too.
Absolutely. And, of course, now pulling for the guys in that, because if they're able to win the North in that MACJC tournament, to be here in Fulton. And I tell you what, we talk about just how scrappy, how tough Holmes was, and we say this for Holmes as well. Not only was that a tough match because of the 2 great opponents, but Mother Nature just really was unkind today. Temperatures peaking out at 97 in your contest. Oh, by the way, it's October the 1st, and it's 97. So just talk about first your team and also the endurance of Holmes to be able to battle through those unfavorable playing conditions.
Yeah, it's not easy, and 1 o'clock kickoff in the middle of they want to call it fall, but it's certainly not fall. In the middle of those conditions, it's tough, and so usually we don't talk about outside circumstances because we can only control attitude and effort. That's always what I tell my players. But we did talk about it just to be aware. We knew that the heat was going to be an issue just based on the way that Holmes likes to play tenaciously and defend, and so we knew that if we were going to match that, we were going to have to do moments. We knew no one could necessarily go 90 minutes today other than Wes, our goalkeeper. So we knew no one else would be able to go 90, and so we paced for that, and we worked on our tactical substitutions around that and tried to base our substitutions around their substitutions. So while we had more of our dynamic players in, they had their dynamic players, and vice versa. It was just a really evenly matched game. I thought it went well on both sides and could have gone either direction.
Yes. As the match right now, 0-0 between ICC and Holmes. There's 19 minutes and 48 seconds to play here. ICC looking for the backside cross, but another great defensive play that time by Holmes to take it away. All right, Coach, so Holmes did it twice. To start the game, they scored quickly on a goal by Smith with 42 minutes left. They did it again even quicker in the second half when Zoe Ellis scored with 44 minutes left. But then it was just a play of Stevens to have the wherewithal to charge in on a ball that may have still went in net, but the keeper from Holmes did a great job of leaping back. But Stevens had enough foot on her to sneak that one in for the eventual game winner. Had a beautiful cross off the foot of Chanel to Grace Joyce. So, yeah, everything just came together. And, again, I'm going to give you credit because this is one thing CJ and I talked about. Holmes came out. They put a lot of pressure on you early on, and that's what we noticed, that Hayward wasn't in the match. You were quickly subbing in Chanel, some of those key players out. And it's like, okay, if they can keep this thing here, that's ICC might have enough more left in the tank to be able to get that win, and that was the case.
Yeah, no, and you're right. It was tactical substitutions. We thought that we could stay resilient with some players that stepped in and gave us heavier minutes than what they maybe have in past games, and that's credit to our bench, and that's credit to the mindset of our players. Just knowing that you may not play this current match, but in the upcoming matches you're going to see additional minutes when you're needed. Everybody has attributes and skill sets that provide good opportunities for our team, and you saw that. One of our center backs today hasn't started all season long, and she did phenomenal. And that's what we brought her in for, was opportunities like what she received today. Hey, we're going to have a physical player around you. We're going to use your speed as an asset, and she ate it up. I don't think that there were any breakaways, which is what Holmes is good at. So any breakaways that led to goal scoring opportunities for them, because that's what they want to do. You mentioned early goals. Man, they are full throttle when they're going forward, and we knew that. And so for us to withstand that and give away an early goal in the first half and an early goal in the second half, that could fold us. And in years prior, I think that would have. But we got focused in and we got our opportunity, and from there we just got back into the game. In the second half, I don't think we crossed over midline for the first 15 minutes.
You're correct.
And that's something that, we're going to go back and watch video and say, okay, if this is a boxing match, you got to at least throw some jabs. You can't just stand there and take every punch. So we fortunately found our moments, and all credit to our opponent.
We've got the hydration break here with 17:36 to go. We'll take it with them and continue our conversation with Coach Davis Strother. 0-0 is your score. Back with more right after this.
This broadcast of ICC Athletics is being brought to you by Renaissance Bank, Little Caesars, Davis Ford, the Sonic of Fulton, Tupelo Coca-Cola Bottling Works, the Orthopedic Institute of North Mississippi, First American National Bank, the ICC BSU, your Itawamba County Farm Bureau agent, Joey Cox, Cagle Eye Center, the ICC Foundation, the Bank of Okolona, and the ICC Alumni Association.
Ever since you got that license, you haven't stopped moving forward. Now that you're older and on the move, you need a safer place to keep your money. We get it. A student checking account frees you up with things like mobile check deposit to take care of that check from grandma without having to stop at a bank. Pay with your phone when you're out with friends. And stop worrying about ATM fees. We'll pay you back for those. Worry about your future, not your money. And know that we'll stick with you, wherever you go. Renaissance Bank. Understanding you. Member FDIC.
My burger goes best with mustard.
Ketchup and mustard.
Grass-fed beef.
No, corn-fed.
On the grill.
Now, flat top.
Iceberg lettuce.
Nah, arugula. Jalapeno.
No way. Avocado, dude.
Medium rare. Gotta be well done. Brioche.
Sesame seeds.
American cheese.
Cheddar.
Can I have a turkey burger? What? Turkeys are for Thanksgiving, man. I like my burger with the Coke.
I'll agree to that.
Strictly with a Coke.
Only with the Coke.
Coke and a burger. Come on.
All right.
That's where you get the flavor.
The longer a person has diabetes, the more likely they are to develop diabetic retinopathy. If left untreated, diabetic retinopathy can lead to blindness. That's why it's important for diabetics to have a comprehensive eye examination with dilation once a year. I'm Dr. Laurie Cagle of Cagle Eye Center in Fulton. We offer comprehensive eye exams to provide diagnosis and treatment of various eye diseases. Browse our large selection of frames available in prescription and non-prescription. Call to schedule your appointment today at Cagle Eye Center in Fulton.
The newly formed Orthopedic Institute of North Mississippi wants to make sure you are receiving the best orthopedic care possible. Our staff of 7 experienced, board-certified surgeons specialize in a specific area of the body and can treat you with the newest and latest technology available to fast-track your road to recovery. Call us for same-day appointments at 662-377-BONE and come see us at Gloucester Creek Village in Tupelo. At the Orthopedic Institute of North Mississippi, our specialty is you.
With the Little Caesars mobile app, you can customize an extra most bestest pizza with the most cheese, and now with the most of any toppings for the nation's best price. It's the crowning pizza achievement. And it's true what they say, it's lonely at the top. Unless you have an extra most bestest pizza, then it's a party at the top!
Little Caesars Extra Most Bestest Pizzas, the world's easiest way to outrageous amounts of toppings, starting at $6.
Pizza.
And welcome back out of the hydration break. 0-0 your score here between ICC and Holmes, as the Indians trying to complete the sweep of the Bulldogs this afternoon after Lady Indians pick up a 3-2 win over the number 17 team in the country and the Lady Bulldogs. And we're continuing our conversation with Coach Strother. Coach, we talked about it during the break. Your back line, midfielders, they did a great job today defensively, really limited Holmes on their shot selections, kept the top scorer in the state, maybe even one of the top scorers in the nation, and Carriel Ellis.
Yeah.
Didn't have any shot attempts today.
Yeah, and she's actually top 5 in the nation.
Yeah.
In both shot attempts and in goals scored. And, I mean, she's an athlete, so she's got a lot of D1 interest in her, and she's got a lot of really Power 5 schools interested in her. And I think that's great because it makes our product in the league that much more presentable. And there were even Power 5 schools here today to watch the match. And I know that there were a few others that have reached out to me to make sure, just asking about our broadcast. So thank you for you guys for providing that. Because it's hot, maybe they didn't want to travel over so far, but it just makes our league better to represent that type of talent and have those skill sets on display. And so that was a plan for us. We knew that she was going to be a dynamic player. We think she's better whenever she's facing forward, and so our objective was to not let her face forward, not let her get on the ball and really run at players. And I think we did a good job of that. All credit to our backline, what you said, but really all credit to 3 dynamic players, really maybe 4, Alexis Hall, Kirsten Gilbert, Maisie Sumner, and then even Morgan Gaylor stepped in there a little bit whenever she wasn't doing midfield work. But all 4 of those players did really, really well on our game plan and taking the ball to where we wanted it to go.
Well, Coach, I think that kind of echoes our – CJ and I picked our Sonics stars of the game. It was a complete team effort today, and you talk about the play of Maisie and especially Kristen on that back line, but it was a complete team effort today to be able to come away with that win.
Yeah, it was, and we've had some matches in the past early on in the season. I think we really got our legs under us and we're moving in the right direction now. But early in the season, we were relying on certain individuals a little bit too much, and it was like, well, I've done my job, now it's her job, and just kind of pass the buck on. And it's not that way. I told our team too, for us to be successful defensively, really had to make our lines tight and compact. And I thought even our forward line did a good job of being connected to our defending line, so there wasn't much separation where they could play through their midfield and then find feet. So, yeah, it was a collective effort, and that's something that we've been really doing for the past 9 matches. I feel like that's why we've been successful with this amazing winning streak is because of the way we're working for one another instead of for just ourselves.
And that 9-win streak, longest in program history.
Yeah.
So an impressive streak there as well. Now, of course, one thing we talked about as well, and then we'll eventually get back to the game here, is we're talking with Coach David Strother, 3-2 win for the Lady Indians over number 17 Holmes in the first match of the day. Coach, everybody talks about how difficult it is to come off an emotional loss. This is an emotional high win as well. And you and I both agree sometimes it's a lot more difficult to come off a win like this versus a hard-fought loss.
Yeah, it is, and that's the nature of collegiate soccer, and it's really the nature of the MACJC. About the time you get done with one, you move on to the next. So I've always said that even in losses too. It's like, hey, if you don't like it, don't worry. Wait 48 hours. We get to go. We get to go again. And so now it's the same thing. Like we're not going to change our process as we continue for our match on Friday against Hines away, and for the rest of the season. It's a regeneration day tomorrow. It's and then it's a tactical session on Thursday to get ready for our opponent, and then we travel on Friday and we play. And we'll keep that going as we prepare for our next match next following Tuesday.
All right, Coach, let's shift gears now and take a look at this men's match. Still 0-0, kind of a heavyweight knockdown drag-out right now as both these teams kind of jabbing each other and filling each other out. The Indians, however, have maintained a field position, time of possession in their favor as well. But, man, the keeper, Colby Fair, has been lights out. The Indians could easily be up 4-0 right now, but he has taken away some really good shot opportunities for the Indians.
Yeah, and what's starting to happen now as the game's getting settled in, too, you can see Holmes going into a little bit more of a low-block system where if you don't break their lines quickly on counter moments or quick transition moments, they get settled in, and then it makes it harder for passing angles, and it makes it harder for runners to run through those gaps. And this has become a mantra for Coach Sullivan and his team, not just this season, but really about the past 2 or 3 seasons. They're so aggressive going forward. Other teams are willing to sit back on them and create and wait on counter moments similar to what we see right now.
Now they squeeze this one ahead and just a little bit too aggressive on the push forward as they were looking for Brady Jacobs that time as Botts came up and made the play. One thing I do want to talk to you about, let's go back to the women's match real quick. Again, third time a hat trick for Anna Wesley Driscoll on winning the Conference Player of the Week, coming off that National Conference Player of the Week performance the week before, and still has an opportunity to win it this week as well with 17 saves as this shot from distance off goal. Just talk about the play of Anna Wesley this season. Of course, you can read more about her in tomorrow's Daily Journal, as Dalton Milton was on campus earlier this week to interview you and her both.
Yeah, it's just for goalkeepers, I think the biggest attribute they have is not their athleticism; it's their mental aspect. And she has been so switched on and so focused to have some results that she had early in the season. I say it was all of us.
Yeah.
But some of the goals that were being given up and some of the resiliency that she showed through that and some of the score lines, there's just been a sense of confidence that's been established. And every goal or every goal scoring opportunity that's against her, we're not worried about. We know she's going to give everything she can to try to keep it out, and it's stuff that now has to be earned. It's nothing that we're giving them, and it's based on her confidence. And her confidence is then bleeding into the back line, which then leads to the midfield. And so she's getting these individual awards, and she's definitely appreciative of it. But every time she says, "Oh, thank you guys," it's because of you, and she's talking about her back line and her midfield whenever she gets that. We jokingly did talk in the pregame today, though. I told her, I said, "Look, it's the third. We're not going to have a police escort to you for practice. We're not going to have fans available for you at water breaks. Like, you still got to carry your gear. You still got to put it.
Got to keep them humble."
Yeah, exactly. And so she kind of laughed it off. But even today, we had 2 goals that were earned on us. I mean, that's a good offensive attacking team, but they didn't get anything free,
right.
and that's a large portion of West. She made a massive save in the second half where she tipped it over the bar to keep the game tied at 2 early on. Offside call, unfortunately. So. But I mean, she makes the moments, or she makes the plays in the moments that she needs to, and that's what you want a good, solid goalkeeper to do.
That's what I was going to say. One thing I noticed when she talked to Dalton in the article, every time we talked to her in interviews about the Player of the Week, she's always quick to credit everyone else around her, and that's just a good representation of the team, because everybody talks about that. They talk about each other and what everybody else is doing more than they focus on what they're doing themselves.
Yeah, and that's a big part of our culture too, and it's so hard to have a continuous culture at the junior college level, because about the time they figure it out, they're moving on to the next level, and so it trickles down from the previous year's class into our current sophomores, and then their current sophomores really establish that with our freshmen, and the earlier you can have that buy-in, the better it goes for us. And I think this is probably the earliest we've been able to have this buy-in. Usually it happens a little bit later in the season, and to have it going now, that's one reason that we've been so successful.
10:19 to play here in the first half. 0-0 still the score here between ICC and Holmes. Sends this one ahead to Boyd. All right, Coach, talk to us. What do the Indians' adjustments need to do here as Holmes, as you said, look like they're settling back defensively just to take away the opportunities for the Indians?
Yeah, the weak side space is there. The outside backs are able to get on the ball, and so I think if that's going to be the target play that we're looking to find, if that's the anchor pass that's going to trigger everything, then the next ball movement and the next movement off the ball needs to be key. So instead of having the outside backs receive it and then we're starting on the runs, our forwards already need to be triggered that as the ball is traveling to the outside backs, they need to go ahead and be gone, and we need to be breaking those lines a little bit quicker.
Indians going on the attack here. Here is going to be number 9, Josh White. White's trying to send it over the middle that time. It's broken up nicely by the Bulldogs. Ends up back at the feet of White. Cross over the middle. Shot's going to be too tall that time, and you see Rodriguez upset with himself. He knew he had a great opportunity there, just couldn't quite flatten that one out.
Yeah, you could see, too, just the technical ability of Itawamba, able to bring balls down in tight little areas. So you don't necessarily have to rely on quick ball movement, but whenever you're able to use quick ball movement along with technical ability, it's kind of a 2-for-1 type of deal. So, if we can't get it with a good ball movement, there could be that special player that just says, all right, give me the ball. I'm going to dribble past 1 or 2 and create some space and then make something happen a little bit more individualized.
Indians send in Carson O'Daniel along with Cameron West. And then for the Bulldogs, it's Osbaldo Gayton. That's going to be on the all-name team at the end of the year. Osbaldo, spelled O-S-B-A-L-D-O, Gayton. Said as it sounds, as the pronunciation guide provided by Steve Diffie. So they had to chase down a couple of balls. Now we're going to be back in play here. 50-50 ball going down the pitch, and O'Daniel out jumps the Holmes player to get the ball, and then Boyd just slipped down trying to go into it, found some breaks, but was able to come back and get the ball. Jalen Boyd, quicker than a hiccup, trying to get down the pitch, but a great job staying with him step for step that time was Cameron Bell, a sophomore defender out of Pearl. So to be a throw-in here for ICC, coming up on 8 minutes to play here in the first half. Well, the rest of the home matches here on out will be 1 and 3 o'clock. As we talked about, no lights here, so you have to move those matches up. to make sure you get them in. And in case there's some overtime in the first match of the day, thought we might have had that one in the first match of the day, but good job by Ashley Stevens coming in and getting the goal. As for Ashley, that was her
don't ask me, man.
sixth goal of the year. So, and a big one.
Yeah, I joked with her as I subbed her out. I think I subbed her out about 2 minutes later, and I said, "Was that the easiest goal you've ever scored, or the toughest?" And she's like, "Both." And it was just a little touch. Literally, all she had to do was toe poke it in the goal because it was so wide open. It was such a big moment, to get an opportunity to move into a tie with first place with Holmes. That's something we set goals at the beginning of the season. That's something the girls have been striving for. We were up 2-0 on them at their place, and we kind of stopped and let them back into the game, and hey, a good team's going to capitalize, and they did, and ended up beating us 4-2 and got that fourth goal with 20 seconds left to go. So that's something that we've had a little bit of a mantra about since that game, and I challenged our players after that game. We were 1-3 at the time, and I told them, I said, if you want to see this team again and be relevant when you see them again, you got to rip off 9 straight wins, and we got to, or excuse me, 8 straight wins, and we got to be 9-3 going in. And that's what we've done. And man, that's just an amazing accomplishment to have that buy-in of them understanding what it takes game in and game out. Because not all the games have been pretty, and they've definitely been scrappy. But we've found a way to win each and every single one of them.
And I think the key to that sentence there was found a way to win. It doesn't have to be pretty. You just got to find a way to win at the end of the day.
That's right.
And now the Indians with it. Still scoreless here. 6:05 to play. They squeeze this one ahead. This is going to be Carson O'Daniel. O'Daniel weaving his way through traffic. The ball just didn't want to go with him that time as he got a little bit behind him. He tried to send it forward and just couldn't keep up with it. And a nice touch between the legs of the defender that time, but good hustle on the part of White to get back and break up that opportunity. Now the Bulldogs send this one out wide, and it's going to be kept in bounds. Helms is right there in his hip pocket. Well, I've talked about the play of Helms, and I know people that watch the broadcast and be like, we get it, Gore. He's good on that back line, but he's just been lights out for the Indians this year.
He's just been consistent, and I think that's the biggest word for a defender is you just want to be consistent, and he's so confident too. And so, man, if he is in a 50-50 battle, it's not even 50-50 anymore. It turns into more like 80-20, and he's just winning that ball repetitively, and it's reassuring for the back line. It's reassuring for the goalkeeper, where if you know that Helms is going to step to it, more times than not, he's going to force that ball backwards and allow you time to then get reorganized.
5 minutes and 8 seconds to go now. ICC with the throw in. This is going to be White set to throwing it in. Surveying the defense, and not really a whole lot to go there as they finally send it in, and the ball's loose on the pitch, and Clayton O'Daniel settles it, now drops it back to White. White, a captain on the Indian squad, sends it over to Carson O'Daniel across the middle, weaving his way through traffic, still going through. Now out on the right side, tries to find Marquez, a little heavy on the touch, but Marquez showing off the Jets there as he chases that one down before it goes out of bounds. Tries to get by the defender, and it's going to be sent out of bounds. Last touch by Marquez.
But you can see the success that's kind of building off of that whenever O'Daniel was able to get a touch by the defender and then draw out the next defender, where he was able to then play into space out on the outside. Unfortunately, it was a pass back behind our outside wing, but that's the concept. Get past that first defender, draw the second defender to you, and you can slot that pass into the space. So those are ideas and actions that Coach Sullivan can build on and talk with them about at halftime, and see if there's some tactical adjustments moving forward in the second half.
That's the voice of Coach David Strother sitting in here with us in the ICC Alumni Association and Foundation broadcast booth. Find out how you can contribute to Itawamba Community College, maybe even donate to the ICC soccer teams by visiting iccms.edu. That's iccms.edu. We do appreciate CJ Adams. Coach, that may be your lucky charm, as CJ was up here in the first match of the day helping out with the broadcast as well. So you may want to talk to CJ, or if you know his boss, may want to say, hey, we need to let him come call a few more games more often.
There you go. It's so neat because, man, I absorb myself in soccer, and I think I'm probably one of like 20 Mississippians that do that. And I know I'm probably the only person in Fulton, Mississippi that does that. And so whenever CJ was hired on, and I think like maybe the second time I met him, he started talking to me about Atlanta United. And started talking to me like legitimate things that Atlanta United is an MLS team out of Atlanta. I was like, whoa.
Yeah.
And then he talks about the tactics that we're using, and and it's just exciting. You know, a lot of times in this area, it's still seen as soccer is just a game of run it and kick, and he sees things for what they are, and it's exciting to have him involved in the broadcast. He gives great commentating, and he also gives some great points of interest, and it also relieves you a little bit, like what you said, and it helps split my time. So yeah, anytime we can get him at a game, he is our good luck charm, and we certainly maybe even if we're able to host this tournament, we'd love to have him and you guys running just as many broadcasts as you can. I'll bring the nachos and the sandwiches.
Perfect. I like it. Ball loose, and that's going to be Carson O'Daniel who gets it now. He's trying to weave his way through traffic. Wisely backs it back out, and West sends it on a cross. So across the way looking for Boyd, and just couldn't quite get to it in time. Great defensive play on the part of Brandon Keene to break up that opportunity for the Indians. Looks like Boyd may have taken an inadvertent knee to the thigh that time, as he is slow to get up. Well, he wasn't really slow to get up. He was just kind of squatting down, maybe trying to catch his breath, but they're actually going to say it was out of bounds on ICC, so Holmes will have it back now. This ball set ahead, and ICC takes it back. Helms created the opportunity for ICC to get the turnover and eventually gets it back now across the middle of the pitch. That is going to be Caden Mitchell with it. Mitchell eventually gets it back from Marquez. Mitchell, who's got a strong foot surveying the defense now, gets it out to Carson O'Daniel, who swings it out wide. This is Josh White. White trying to look for the cross over the middle to Clayton O'Daniel. There it is. O'Daniel wanting to work 1v1. Good help defense, though, on the backside, as O'Daniel just couldn't quite get a lane to take a shot attempt. And the Bulldogs take it away. Shot left-footed, too tall. And we'll go out of bounds. Ball back to Holmes, and we've got a substitution coming into the match here. There you see Lee Adams on the broadcast. He's taking photos today for ICCimages.com. You can order photos from this and other events throughout the year, not just athletics, by visiting ICCimages.com. Digital downloads available for $1. You can't beat that, folks. So we're inside a minute now to play in the contest, as this ball sent down the pitch, and David Marquez will control it. Indians in the all-white kits. Holmes in the black and maroon kits, maroon shirts, black shorts. ICC lets it settle. This is Chandler with it. Chandler is going to send this one ahead. He was looking for someone to go with him. Nobody really there, so a shot directly at the keeper that time. And again, the Indians have just been flooding the frame, just haven't been able to find one to break through, as the score remains 0-0 with 28 seconds to play here in the first half. Remind you to stay tuned for the Little Caesars halftime report. We would typically give you the Sonic scoring update, but there hasn't been any of that so far.
Not yet. Still
not
time.
Yet. Yeah, I like it.
15 seconds. Let's see what would happen. Probably not with the touch like that.
And that one's going to be sent out of bounds, and that will more than likely do it now with 8 seconds. Holmes will throw it in with 4 seconds to play now, and ICC is going to break it up, and then Holmes will get it back, and that will do it. 0-0 your score here in the first half. We'll take a break with the Little Caesars halftime show. We'll replay the ICC All-American Band's performance from earlier this football season, and be back with more right after this here on the ICC Sports Network.
This broadcast of ICC Athletics is being brought to you by Renaissance Bank, Little Caesars, Davis Ford, the Sonic of Fulton, Tupelo Coca-Cola Bottling Works, the Orthopedic Institute of North Mississippi, First American National Bank, the ICC BSU, your Itawamba County Farm Bureau agent, Joey Cox, Cagle Eye Center, the ICC Foundation, the Bank of Okolona, and the ICC Alumni Association.
The newly formed Orthopedic Institute of North Mississippi wants to make sure you are receiving the best orthopedic care possible. Our staff of 7 experienced, board-certified surgeons specialize in a specific area of the body and can treat you with the newest and latest technology available to fast-track your road to recovery. Call us for same-day appointments at 662-377-BONE and come see us at Gloucester Creek Village in Tupelo. At the Orthopedic Institute of North Mississippi, our specialty is you.
The longer a person has diabetes, the more likely they are to develop diabetic retinopathy. If left untreated, diabetic retinopathy can lead to blindness. That's why it's important for diabetics to have a comprehensive eye examination with dilation once a year. I'm Dr. Laurie Cagle of Cagle Eye Center in Fulton. We offer comprehensive eye exams to provide diagnosis and treatment of various eye diseases. Browse our large selection of frames available in prescription and non-prescription. Call to schedule your appointment today at Cagle Eye Center in Fulton.
Ever since you got that license, you haven't stopped moving forward. Now that you're older and on the move, you need a safer place to keep your money. We get it. A student checking account frees you up with things like mobile check deposit to take care of that check from grandma without having to stop at a bank. Pay with your phone when you're out with friends. And stop worrying about ATM fees. We'll pay you back for those. Worry about your future, not your money. And know that we'll stick with you, wherever you go. Renaissance Bank. Understanding you. Member FDIC.
With the Little Caesars mobile app, you can customize an extra most bestest pizza with the most cheese, and now with the most of any toppings for the nation's best price. It's the crowning pizza achievement. And it's true what they say, it's lonely at the top. Unless you have an extra most bestest pizza, then it's a party at the top!
Little Caesars Extra Most Bestest Pizzas, the world's easiest way to outrageous amounts of toppings, starting at $6.
Pizza.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Etowama Community College is proud to present to you the 2019 ICC All-American Marching Band. This year's program, The Evolution of Gaming, features some of the most popular video games of our time. This evening we open with the 1980 Atari game Space Invaders. And now, the ICC All-American Marching Band. The 91 Sega game Sonic the Hedgehog, featuring trumpet soloist Tucker Johnson from Saltillo. Featuring our percussion section. South. Itawamba and Diavian Calmis Walker from Starkville. Color guard captains are Alfonso Fernandez, South Pontotoc, and Alexis Wharton from Barr County, Alabama. Percussion captains are Cody Hunter from Lafayette and Alexis Bradley from Tupelo. Front ensemble captains are Chloe Hatfield from Alcorn Central and Jacob Curry from South Hiller. Indian Act choreographer is Roxy Thomas Clayton. The ICC All-American.
With the Little Caesars mobile app, you can customize an extra most bestest pizza with the most cheese, and now with the most of any toppings for the nation's best price. It's the crowning pizza achievement. And it's true what they say, it's lonely at the top. Unless you have an extra most bestest pizza, then it's a party at the top!
Little Caesars Extra Most Bestest Pizzas, the world's easiest way to outrageous amounts of toppings, starting at $6.
Pizza.
Ever since you got that license, you haven't stopped moving forward. Now that you're older and on the move, you need a safer place to keep your money. We get it. A student checking account frees you up with things like mobile check deposit to take care of that check from grandma without having to stop at a bank. Pay with your phone when you're out with friends. And stop worrying about ATM fees. We'll pay you back for those. Worry about your future, not your money. And know that we'll stick with you, wherever you go. Renaissance Bank, understanding you. Member FDIC.
This broadcast of ICC Athletics is being brought to you by Renaissance Bank, Little Caesars, Davis Ford, the Sonic of Fulton, Tupelo Coca-Cola Bottling Works, the Orthopedic Institute of North Mississippi, First American National Bank, the ICC BSU, your Itawamba County Farm Bureau agent, Joey Cox, Cagle Eye Center, the ICC Foundation, the Bank of Okolona, and the ICC Alumni Association.
And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, as we get set to start the second half of play. ICC and Holmes scoreless right now. As we're waiting to start the second half here, the referees coming back onto the pitch. If you're just now joining us, the Lady Indians pick up a 3-2 win in the first game of the day. And that was over number 17, Holmes, as they move into a tie for first place in the North Division. They'll be on the road Friday at Hines. That first match coming your way at 5 o'clock. No broadcast here on the Red Channel. As getting assaulted by the campus police throwing pins. He's trying to throw it up to the young man from Holmes, and, well, he missed and hit me instead. So ICC will have it to start the second half of play. They'll be moving left to right on your screens. ICC is in the all-white kits as this ball sent out of bounds, and if it didn't hit a vehicle, it probably would have went to the road that time. So ICC caught a break, because if not, that ball gets away and probably is never seen again. Instead, there's a gentleman out there that works with the company near the soccer field, is able to retrieve that one and get it back to us here as ICC squeezes this one across the middle. Here comes O'Daniel, fires, and just tall and wide that time. Good touch over the middle that time. Clayton O'Daniel came in hard, went top shelf. Just couldn't quite get that one on frame. Could have been a big goal there. Let's give credit where credit was due in that first half. Colby Fair played extremely well. Made 4 really good saves to keep the Indians off the board. I think he had 5 total in that first half. As that 50-50 ball controlled by the Indians, and now Holmes is just going to clear this one out, and it's going to go out of bounds, and it will go back to ICC. Good job, quick decision, because they had Clayton O'Daniel crashing in a hurry trying to get to the ball there. Would have been a one-on-one opportunity with Clayton O'Daniel, and after getting close on that previous shot, kind of like Holmes, or excuse me, kind of like O'Daniel's chance on that previous one, as the ball will go back to Holmes. And I'm sure what happened there as I was looking down. So it'll be a throw in here for Holmes. It's homecoming week here at ICC. Yesterday was Hawaiian dress-up day. Today was a throwback day, as Carter Chandler comes away with the ball, pokes this one forward. It's going to stay in bounds, tries to leave it over the middle. Good idea, but a great defensive effort that time by Holmes to get there and quickly clear that one out, and ICC will have the throw-in across the way. Of course, you can join us Thursday night as it's Holmes week as well as homecoming this week, as we will host Holmes in football. Of course, Holmes coming off that big win over once top 5 program or top 5 ranked team in Northwest. They picked up a 47-42 win last Thursday, so they're riding a big wave of momentum. You can join us for the Davis Ford pregame show starting at 6, and then the First American National Bank opening kick coming your way at 6:30. Long shot and a save reeled in that time, as he didn't really have anybody going with him, so he just tried to put a foot on the ball, see if he could make something dangerous. And Alex Box was there to reel that one in with ease. Marquez had it, and then it was poked out of bounds by Holmes, which allowed the defense to reset here, so Marquez will get set to throw it in. And that's going to be thrown into Carson O'Daniel, who lost it, but there was Rodriguez to get it back, leaves it back to Marquez, who sends it forward now. Nichols with it over to Rodriguez. Rodriguez going with the cross. Dangerous cross, a long cross, and ends up in settling now for the Indians. Trying to get inside. Oh, great tackle on the ball. Looking for the cross. It was there. Oh, beautiful send that time, but Lando just couldn't quite find it to change the direction of the ball. If he's able to just get a solid foot on the ball that time, that finds its way in the back of the goal, so a big-time break there for the Bulldogs. 0-0 remaining your score here. 41-13 left here in the second half. Indians have dominated possession and field position, but nothing to show for it, thanks to the very tough defensive play out of the Bulldogs, along with the play in net by Colby Fair so far in the contest. A player down for Holmes in this situation, and they're going to ask for stoppage and see if they haven't signaled to stop the clock yet, and now they will. Injury timeout on the pitch. We're going to take it with them. Let's hear from the Orthopedic Institute of North Mississippi. Or, excuse me, we're going to keep it here as he's able to get up and walk off on his own power here. That's number 9, Luis Osiguiria, shaking up on the play, and he tried to stay in the game, but because his play was stopped, he's going to have to come out in that situation. So he will check out of the contest. They will send in a substitution, or they should. Yes, now Holmes will send in Aaron Lincoln, a freshman forward out of Northwest Rankin. And then ICC will simply just send this one back to the keeper, with a bit of sportsmanship that comes along with the game of soccer there after the play was broken up. So this ball, high punt down the pitch, and ICC heads it back to midfield, and the Indians let it settle. Now send this one ahead. This is going to be Lando with it. Had it, lost it, and Holmes gets it back. Well, anything you could do, I could do better in that exchange there between the Indians and the Bulldogs. Holmes gets it now and struggling to keep it away from ICC, and eventually ICC gets it back. As this one poked ahead, and the Indians maintain possession. Now send it out wide. This is going to be White with the ball. Tries to squeeze this one ahead to Rodriguez. Rodriguez sends it back out to White. White surveying the defense, squeezes it across the middle, and they was looking for Clayton O'Daniel, and O'Daniel just couldn't quite maintain it, and Holmes gets it back. Now the Bulldogs trying to squeeze it ahead, but there's the Indians as Rodriguez comes back and takes the ball away. Now Rodriguez with it here on the near side of the pitch. Sends this one forward. Looking out wide, and it's going to be sent back across the middle. O'Daniel looking for the cross, and there it is. Beautiful play by the Indians. Take a look at that on the Little Caesars instant replay. As that was O'Daniel to number 14, Carter Chandler. And beautiful ball movement by the Indians, 39-20. Is left on the clock here. ICC takes the lead here as Chandler sends that one home. So now 1-0 Indians with the lead. So now the Bulldogs need to come back in a hurry here and see if they can find the equalizer. For you're the Indians, though, you want to keep it up, and there's a nice steal by Rodriguez. Rodriguez trying to get out in the open field, gets by the defender here. Now checks up, squeezes back across the middle and just working around. Good job keeping possession with the Indians. Marquez with it now. Marquez wants to squeeze it over the middle, and Clayton O'Daniel had it, then tried to poke it forward. His leg betrayed him on the first one, still trying to have an opportunity on the second one. Boy, that could have been big there for the Indians if they would have been able to find another quick goal to go up 2-0 in a hurry. So the Bulldogs dodge a major bullet there. So 1-0 is the score. Getting ready for this goal kick here from the Bulldogs. It's rejoined now by Coach David Strother. And Coach, don't know if you had a chance to see that goal before coming up here, but big goal there for the Indians. Great ball movement resulting in an easy score.
Yeah, it was, and it's just that's the first one that's needed. It just kind of gets the game flowing now a little bit more confidently for Etowama. You can see some of that off-ball running that's taking place. It's just a little bit sharper. It's amazing what one goal will do in a game. Seems to change the dynamic of the temperature. Seems to change the dynamic of just everything about an overall match. And so you're not so worried about the heat of the game and the heat of the temperature whenever you get that goal.
Saw you had a chance to talk with Coach Sullivan just before the close of halftime. What did you guys talk about?
Yeah, so just this space that I would be looking to expose, and he agreed. So the way they're sitting in, and we talked about those outside anchors, those outside backs getting on the ball and dribbling. I told him that maybe instead of looking to play that ball directly into the middle where it's so compact, maybe create overloads with 2v1. So play it to the wing and then have that outside back run into those outside channels, and they agreed. And the goal that was scored, it wasn't off of a set like that, but it was still the same concept of expanding the defense, opening them up a little bit, getting a turnover, and then getting back into goal and getting an opportunity to have a good finish for O'Daniel.
As Chandler got it, O'Daniel scored the goal. So for Clayton O'Daniel, that's his third assist of the season. For Chandler, that is his first goal of the season. So Carter Chandler loving that as well. Indians lead it 1-0. There is 36:55 left here in the second half. Now Holmes with the ball. Holmes has spent a lot of time on ICC's part of the field, and as soon as they cross into their side part of the pitch, ICC takes it away. Long pass, and Holmes steps in front of it, but there's Rodriguez to get it back. Good hustle on the part of Irvin Rodriguez to get the ball back now for the Indians, and just a little miscommunication on where he wanted to go with the ball that time, and Holmes takes it away. Bulldogs trying to get it out in a hurry there. Indians with a 4v2 opportunity, able to get the ball away, then the ball just somehow bounced right back to the Bulldogs. Now here come the Bulldogs, squeezing this one ahead, trying to find the equalizer, but the Indians fall back beautifully defensively to force the ball back out and allow the defense to reset. Good job by the back line of the Indians to get in there and break that one up, and then deflected that shot opportunity, and Box hustles to it in a hurry there before it got out of bounds and set up a corner opportunity.
And that's what happens sometimes whenever you get so aggressive in your attack and you're in your attacking half for such long periods of time. You don't mean to. It's just natural habit where you get settled in and you forget about those recovery runs and forget about dropping in. And this is what Holmes is going to expect. They're going to look to get these counter moments, and they're not looking to score by breaking all 10 into the attack. They're looking to counter with 2, maybe 3 at most, and just get quick transition moments where the back line's exposed because they're so attack-minded.
So the Indians with it, they lead it 1-0 right now with 35 minutes and 28 seconds to play. Here in the second half, the Indians trying to go for the sweep this afternoon over the Bulldogs. Lady Indians picked up a 3-2 win in the first match of the day over number 17 Holmes. As they send this one over the middle, Rodriguez with the quick touch, trying to find O'Daniel. Ball deflected around and eventually found its way back to Marquez. And now here comes Rodriguez. Rodriguez quicker than a hiccup, able to get the ball back now. Blows by the defender. Fancy ball handling there. Sends it, looking for the cross, broken up beautifully by the Bulldogs. Well, it was there as he was looking for Diego on the backside. Now it turns into a corner opportunity here for the Indians.
This has been a skill set that the Indians have been pretty diligent on in working. I know that last week they played at Andrew College over the weekend and got a 5-0 result against them. I believe a large portion of that was off a set piece play, similar to what you see right here.
Oh, the header was there. It's off the cross beam, and then the putback is in and good. Well, it got it off the deflection as they thought it went in, and it looks like it did go in on the first attempt, but there was number 20 for the Indians, Lando Nichols, to go in and clean that one up, and it's quickly 2-0 Indians. And let's look at that again, Coach. It looks like the ball bounced inside the line off the header. And it's, of course, not ours to call, but the Indians get the goal either way, so a good job hanging around. We saw that a couple of times in your match today as well, being able to go in and get those rebounds.
And we call that the Itawamba bounce here, too. I don't think since those new goals have come to play, I don't think there's been one bounce that's gone their way. There's supposed to be a circular frame, but I think they got some divots in them whenever we're taking some shots because it never seems to drop on that line. But you saw the cleanup goal by Lando Nichols. He's just in the right spot at the right time. He scored a lot of goals this season just by being in the right moments, and that doesn't happen accidentally. It happens by the off-ball movement that he puts himself into play with.
That's the 6th goal of the season for Lando, as now he's going to be Rodriguez trying to weave his way through traffic, and just too many bodies that time, and Holmes able to come away with a loose ball. 2-0 is the score. Indians with the lead.
You don't want to get generic with this. You know, it's a 2-0 lead. You've been maintaining possession. You've been the aggressor all the way through this game. So now you just want to continue that. You don't want to get lackadaisical. You don't want to get lazy in any of the things that you're doing. And so it's going to be very important to see how Itawamba continues on for maybe the next 5 or 10 minutes. But more importantly, it's going to be interesting to see if Holmes can change some of their tactics and look to start pressing a little bit, because for them to maintain an opportunity to be in the MACJC playoffs, they're getting into must-win situations with this game coming up and the other 3 matches they'll have after this for the remaining 2 weeks. So you don't want to sit back too much because you want to get opportunities to score, and you can't get into the playoffs if you're not winning these matches.
Yeah, talking about that, let's take a look at the North standings in the men's side, brought to you by the Sonic here in Fulton. Right now it's ICC leading the North at 4-0. Hines right behind them at 3-1. The Indians will travel to Hines on Friday. Then you got Holmes, Northwest, and East Central all 1-3 in North Division play. So as you said, Coach, some of those that, these are very important matches here, especially for the Bulldogs. The Indians win today, they're in the playoffs for sure. Win Friday, then not only are they in the playoffs, they win the North and host the North Division, which could be big for you guys too, in that sense. So you would know, as the ICC fans would love to see the Indians go ahead and take care of business this week. Of course, if they don't win it Friday, because Hines is a very tough place to go on the road and play for anybody. So they still have the opportunity to still win the North, but would love to go ahead and put that thing to bed with 3 weeks before the playoffs.
Yeah, you know, that's the nature of division play. You know, at any given time, anyone can show up. So you don't want it to be decided off of one particular game, but that's what's so key about this division and really this league is every game matters. It's like that consistency all the way through all the athletic programs, whether it's football, baseball, basketball, everything in the MACJC is a must-win scenario whenever you're playing an MACJC opponent.
Well, Rodriguez just put the brakes on number 18 for the Bulldogs. But a little shake and bake, but nobody there to help as he couldn't come away with any points to show for it. And the Bulldogs get the ball back.
Creativity points. We'll give him some credit. You know, he doesn't go on the score line, but I definitely got the sideline excited for him. Going back to our game, I know the video wasn't probably picked up on today, but credit to my sideline too. We've been working on just being a little bit more engaged, and something I really like about other sports, softball in particular, is there's always so much excitement in the dugout, and sometimes in soccer you feel vulnerable and you don't really want to celebrate. We've started changing that a little bit here, and so every single goal that's scored, past 2 games we've had a few celebrations. But I really put some pressure on our sideline today to, hey, when you score, be ready for those celebrations. Some of our injured players came up with some ideas. And I'm not going to say that Monmouth University basketball team. I'm just going to say, hey, if you want to get an idea of maybe some things we did, they picked up on some of those. And it was really funny and really good celebrations.
Rodriguez, just a too tall that time. Too open is what happened
That's
there.
right.
Coach, you talking about that? Lee was telling me about some of them. I think he might have actually got video of it, so it could be in one of the highlight reels as well.
That'd be awesome.
Substitutions coming into the match here for both teams for ICC. It will be number 22. That's going to be Cameron West. Number 5 is Cade Knight. And then I believe Boyd's going to come back into the game as well. The Bulldogs sent in a pair of substitutions. I believe it's Lawson Lyle and possibly Daryl Grantham. Not sure on those, but that looked like the two that did come in that sense. So it'll be a goal kick coming up here for the Bulldogs. 2-0 ICC with the lead. 29 minutes and 50 seconds to play in the contest. It was a goal by Chandler off an assist from Clayton O'Daniels, and then Nichols hanging around, getting a deflection and sending home a goal to give ICC the 2-0 advantage. And then Sully showing out on the sideline, getting a few oohs and ahs out of his guys, showing some of his fancy footwork with ball handling, and Boyd is down. And if you can judge by the laughter of his teammates, you can kind of judge why he's down here, as the ball was sent out of bounds and unfortunately last touch by Jalen Boyd. When I say unfortunately, I'm just saying unfortunate on the touch by Boyd, not unfortunately because Holmes got the ball back in that sense.
Yeah,
it's just unfortunate for Jalen. So the Bulldogs with it, trying to see if they can cut this 2-0 advantage in half here as they send this one ahead. One of their longest possessions they've had on their side of the pitch here, and it's cleared out and sent out of bounds, and it's going to belong to ICC. So 2-0 is the advantage for the Indians. ICC trying to build on this lead. The last time these two teams met, ICC picked up a 3-0 win as this shot and saved. Man, Coach, Colby Fair has been really good for the Bulldogs today.
Yes, he has. He's very consistent. That was one of the points of emphasis that Coach Sullivan talked about from their previous match earlier this season. He thought that was by far one of the best goalkeepers they'd seen in the North Division, and you can just see it now here in the whole match how he's weathered the storm. Even though he's let in 2 goals today, they've been earned, and he's having a phenomenal season for Holmes. We go back to the scoreline and we talk about it being 2-0, and this is something that's important for the men's side, trying to wrap up the North Division and really trying to keep pace with Holmes, or excuse me, with Hines. So even though that they have the win against Hines, it could possibly come down to goal separation. So you want to max out every single time you have an opportunity. It's a 3-goal differential, and you get maximum points for 3-goal separation. So you're going to see Itawamba continue to press. 2-0 is a good scoreline, but you're going to see them continue to press for this third because they're going to want to receive max goal opportunities against this good quality opponent like Holmes.
Well, Coach, for those that are watching, maybe not keeping up or don't know how that breaks down in the game of soccer, especially in this league, go ahead and explain that to everyone.
Yeah, so it's 3 points for every win. So you can receive up to 12 points in the first leg of division play. We all play 4 matches within division play, and so first 4 matches in the first half of the season, second 4 matches in the second half of the season. So you get 3 points for every win. You get 1 point for a tie. The way the seeding works is just based on the accumulation of those points. Now, what you run into though is whenever you have teams that are tied in the same point standing. So I'll use us as an example with Holmes on the women's side. Right now we are 4-1, and they're 4-1 as well. So currently we're both tied for first place, but they own the tiebreaker based on goal differential. We beat them 3-2. And they beat us 4-2. So they have a +1 goal differential to us, and they also have a goal differential in relation to the other opponents.
The more you know, Soccer 101 being brought to you by First American National Bank, as a couple of players now for Holmes cramping right now as substitutions come in for both teams. These substitutions being brought to you by the ICC BSU
and it's basically Common Core soccer math. I don't know what the problem is with that. It's super simple.
Yes, it is. It's 2 + 2 = b squared minus Wednesday times 2.
That's right.
Let's see, Coach Carrie Ball Williamson taking a stroll out here. You know, we don't give enough credit for Coach Ball. She does a lot, and, you know, a lot of times she's got an opportunity to go home at the end of the day.
That's right.
She elects to stick around and make sure everything's good. Looks like she's kind of looking at the scoreboard right now or either that she's looking for a shade.
Yeah, Coach Ball is athletic director here at Itawamba, and the best in the MACJC.
Hands down.
You know, it's funny. We've got a great new commissioner in Dr. Steve Martin. He's been doing a phenomenal job for us. But I know that he has used her cell phone number and her office number on more than one occasion to call about rulings and different things, and that's just all credit to Coach Ball because she knows the rules probably better than most commissioners within the NJC AA league.
Shot from distance, saved nicely by Fair that time, and of course, Coach Ball, she's humble. She'll say it's just because she's been around for so long, but I tell you, I've been in numerous meetings where she will read a rule twice, and she wants to make sure she's dotting her I's and crossing her T's, so she'll send me a text or give me a call and make sure she understands something right. And
that's right.
Yeah, that's the reason why I agree with you wholeheartedly. Man, when she does decide to step away from the AD role here at ICC, we're going to have some gigantic shoes to fill.
Absolutely.
Well, this ball goes ahead now. ICC trying to go on the attack. Good idea by Boyd that time, as Weston Mitchell, though, just kind of checked up for a split second. That ball was sent out of bounds, and Holmes will get it back with 24 minutes and 9 seconds to play here in the second half. Coach, I was talking to CJ about this in your match, and I'll ask you this. You've been around soccer a whole lot longer. Why is 45 minutes in soccer longer than any other 45 minutes in the history of the world? We were talking about that. In football, time flies by each quarter. In basketball,
feel like
time flies by. But something about 45 minutes, and it runs nonstop.
I know. So
and you look up and you're thinking, okay, we got about 12 minutes left. No, we got 23 left.
Wow, no, I feel different about it. In fact, I was watching the NFL Sunday this past weekend with the New Orleans Saints and the Dallas Cowboys, and I was looking at how it was a kickoff at 7:30, and then still at 11, the game was still going on. So I see what you're saying, but that's what's so nice about soccer. Like 90 minutes means 90 minutes, and that's one reason that they jokingly say that that's the biggest growing sport here in America, is because we've become such an engaged society where everybody wants things now and quick. They say football takes too long, and so they want to go to a Atlanta United match and be there for 90 minutes and be able to get home from work in enough time to get to the game and then come back, and still it's under 10 o'clock before they're putting the kids to bed. So I see what you're saying, but I see it from a different perspective.
Well, and I'll tell you, especially like if, of course, we're in SEC country and everybody watches CBS, you know.
That's
so
right.
That's going to be a 4-hour game.
That's 2 o'clock kickoff, and you're finishing at 8. So.
And here comes ICC on the attack here, sends it over the middle. Oh, good idea, but just had to make sure he stayed on side that time. Missed opportunity there. But, yeah, I'm a Notre Dame guy. So NBC, 2:30 kickoff, or 3:30 this weekend when I was in Indiana, and we were done by 6:30. I was walking out of the stadium. So, so yeah, I feel you on that. It's something about the NFL and especially CBS games.
But also that's what makes football such a dynamic sport, where it's not just about the game, it's about the atmosphere around the game. And I think that soccer does fall short in that. Unless it's in the international area, you know, you go to Europe and you go to England and you have these supporters that are lifetime supporters of Liverpool and Everton and all of it in Manchester City. And I could go through the list of all the Premiership teams. You know, we don't really have that here in America. And so it's something that's trying to be instilled with a lot of these new MLS teams. But I tell you what's really neat, though, that I've noticed, because there's so many more new networks covering NCAA soccer. You see that demographic in the 4-year level. And, you know, for us, we play midday games, and we love larger crowds, and occasionally whenever it's a big match, we get those. But you can even see out past the soccer field right now, you've got baseball practicing. You've got football preparing for homecoming. You've got softball that's finishing up their beans and steak. annual thing that they do with their inter-squad.
And today was the first official day basketball could fully practice.
And so, we don't want to take away from those sports coming out and supporting us. And so, we know that our time frames are going to limit the amount of attendance, but we know also whenever it gets closer to playoffs and really big matches, this is what's so neat about Itawamba, is those coaches will sacrifice a day of training to come out and support. We don't want it right now. Even though that was a big win for us, there's no certificates at the end. It just leads us into a good standing for the playoffs, and we know whenever the playoffs hit, if we are able to host, it's going to be a massive crowd, and we're definitely going to be excited about that.
Yeah, I had a chance to watch a few minutes of Notre Dame soccer Saturday at Alumni Stadium, and Notre Dame actually hosted, I forget who, I want to say it's Manchester this year, as there's a shot, wide.
They did, actually. You're correct. It was Manchester United. They came in and used their facilities for a short period while they were in preseason.
And so back to action here. 2-0 is the score. And they're going to take the water break. Timeout on the pitch. We're going to take it with them and hear a few words from our sponsors. ICC leads at 2-0. Back with more right after this.
This broadcast of ICC Athletics is being brought to you by Renaissance Bank, Little Caesars, Davis Ford, the Sonic of Fulton, Tupelo Coca-Cola Bottling Works, the Orthopedic Institute of North Mississippi, First American National Bank, the ICC BSU, your Itawamba County Farm Bureau agent, Joey Cox, Cagle Eye Center, the ICC Foundation, the Bank of Okolona, and the ICC Alumni Association.
First American National Bank is a local bank. Our 10 locations are right here in Northeast Mississippi. Banking decisions are made locally by people who live here. It's been that way for more than 50 years. Our involvement in the community is important to us. That's where our roots are. Technology, it changes daily, but our community is what keeps us together. If you like high-tech banking, we've got that too. Follow the flag to First American National Bank, from Iuka to Tupelo.
The longer a person has diabetes, the more likely they are to develop diabetic retinopathy. If left untreated, diabetic retinopathy can lead to blindness. That's why it's important for diabetics to have a comprehensive eye examination with dilation once a year. I'm Dr. Laurie Cagle of Cagle Eye Center in Fulton. We offer comprehensive eye exams to provide diagnosis and treatment of various eye diseases. Browse our large selection of frames available in prescription and non-prescription. Call to schedule your appointment today at Cagle Eye Center in Fulton.
Davis Ford in Fulton is your Ford dealer for new cars, trucks, and SUVs and has a wide inventory of certified pre-owned vehicles. Find your next dream car or truck from our Ford showroom or go online to davisfordsales.com and search our new and used inventory to see what is on our lot. So stop by and test drive the all-new fuel-efficient Ford Focus or Ford Fusion or the new Ford Explorer or F-150. Go further with Davis Ford, 904 West Main Street in Fulton or online davisfordsales.com.
My burger goes best with mustard.
Ketchup and mustard.
Grass-fed beef.
No, corn-fed.
On the grill.
Nah, flat top.
Iceberg lettuce.
Nah, arugula. Jalapeno.
No way. Avocado, dude.
Medium rare. Gotta be well done. Brioche.
Sesame seed.
American cheese.
Cheddar.
Can I have a turkey burger? What? Turkeys are for Thanksgiving, man. I like my burger with the Coke.
I'll agree to that. Strictly with a Coke.
Only with the Coke.
Coke and a burger. Come on.
All right.
That's where you get the flavor.
And welcome back to action. 2-0 Indians with the lead here. 20 minutes and 22 seconds to go in the second half. ICC trying to complete the sweep of the Bulldogs as the Lady Indians defeated number 17 Holmes by the final score of 3-2. Well, the players are ready to come back out. We're just waiting for the referees to come back out.
They're still in their hydration break.
Yeah. So, Coach, looking at the rest of the schedule, you guys go to Hines and East Central. And then you have a match with Southwest Tennessee.
That's right.
And then you host Northwest. And then the Indians will host Andrew on that same day. And then we finish up the season on the 18th against Meridian for sophomore day. So, yes, big win today, but still a lot of season left for both you and the Indians.
Yeah, there is, and it happens so fast. I mean, it's a lot of games there, but in reality, it's only 2 more weeks.
Yeah.
And so it's just amazing how fast it goes by. And we talk about this a lot with our sophomore class, and I'm sure other junior college teams do it, where we just talk about enjoying the process, never take it for granted. We've had some that have had some injuries and didn't want them to fight through it, but then as they're sitting out, they're like, "Gosh, coach, I'm missing 6 games, and it's only a week and a half, you know, and so or 2 weeks." And so we want them to enjoy this experience, and that's the whole reason that we have this great level, 2-year level. Is it allows players to play straight away right out of high school instead of sitting for a year or 2 to be developed. And so even though it's quick, man, we're so appreciative that we get such good players to come in and be a part of this program.
And Coach, that is something that you and I were talking about the other day. It is unfortunate that if you do have an injury, like say a high ankle sprain that takes 2 weeks to recover from, you are missing close to 6 matches in that time span. And it's been some talk and maybe possibly on the major levels of splitting the season. So that could be something. Golf does it now.
That's right.
So that could be something moving forward that could kind of expand your season. If they did go to a split season, what would you be looking at in that sense?
What you'd be looking at is you'd be looking at a later start date, which allows for us actually having a proper amount of time to train and prepare instead of 2 weeks, and then coming in and playing a season straight after those 2 weeks. I mean, you're still learning the system that early. And football's different. They have all of their summer workouts leading into then their preseason, so they really have almost 2 months of preparation. And it'd be similar. You'd be looking at August and September of preparation, and then October, November, going into the early side of December. Would be the first half of the season. You go away for winter break. You come back January, February, still another 2 months, and then you finish up March, April, and the beginning side of May. So this is something that's really being pushed by the 4-year university levels on the men's side, predominantly University of Maryland, which is, if you know anything about soccer and on the men's side, Maryland's probably the most successful men's program over the past 20 years. And so it's getting backing. This is something they've been working on since 1997, and this is now finally getting to the NCAA for review. And so the coach up at Maryland has been working on this for well over 20 years, and you can just see the nature of NCAA and be like, oh, that's a good idea. Well, maybe we're not going to do it then.
Yeah.
But it'll be exciting, because if it does change, it could be something that very well could trickle into our level, and we would love it. Other coaches and I have talked about this, where it just allows for more development, and then more importantly, it allows for more recovery time and periodization, so that you're not playing through injuries.
Oh, tough break there for the Indians as they stopped the play for an injured player, and not saying they shouldn't have, but the Indians had possession and an opportunity, but they're going to call a foul on ICC is actually why they're going to stop the play here. But yeah, so that can make it, interesting, and then also gives you an interesting, you and Sully interesting in coaching wise, because basketball deals with this as well. They play that preseason October through November, then have the Thanksgiving break, come back for 3 games in December, and then you have that extended month, almost month and a half break for them. So yeah, then you got to
reteach them. It feels like
reteach them, and then of course they're going to work out every day during the break, so they'll come back in great shape. So.
No, you're exactly right. And so there are pros and cons to every single situation, but just in the amount of time that these players put into their craft, I think it's beneficial, because then you're not having to fight through a hamstring or something. Okay, look, you may miss the first 2 weeks of the season, but you got the remainder. We'll come back in 3 months from now, and you'll be even stronger. So, it's a model that's very similar to how European teams do, also South American teams. Where, look, we know that we're not the money generating sport here in the South, or even in the NCAA for that matter, or the junior college level. But we do recognize that these players put the same amount of hours, the same amount of commitment that all those other sports do as well. And to have them play through injuries and have to play in these condensed fashions, it would be a really, really interesting concept.
Another great play defensively by Holmes to negate that corner opportunity for the Indians. Back heel touch now, and here come the Bulldogs. Wow, that kid's quicker than Walt Flanagan's dog as he gets tackled that time.
You know, I have been impressed with him. I didn't find his name earlier on. It's number 10, Brady Jacobs. Early on in the first half, I thought his work rate was really good. Like I'd said earlier, in their block system, they're not looking to necessarily attack with a large number of players, but whenever 10 was getting on the ball, he was making some aggressive things happen. So it's coming in off of a little injury. It looks like that clip maybe just caught him off guard, but I think he's going to stay in the match now. And it's going to be interesting to see what he does with this free kick. He earned it, so maybe he'll stay on the ball and see if he can put it in the back of the net for Holmes.
Yeah, so a dangerous opportunity coming up here for the Bulldogs. Still a lot of time to play in this match. Just now under 15 minutes. So for the Indians, still need to have that sense of urgency here as this match is still in doubt as they step off the 10 yards. So the Bulldogs getting set for this free kick here. He was arguing that it might have been a PK as he felt like it went in, and there, beautiful play that time as the number 14 came up. And
it's going to be called offside there. So.
Oh, offside is a call, so it will not count. Well, they're going to talk this one over on the side.
Well, I thought that he was in an offside position whenever he was standing there in front of the goalkeeper, and that's not a bad strategy. The problem is, though, you cannot allow him to touch the ball, and so it looked like it deflected just off the side of him, and maybe they're going to count. So they're going to call it back as an offside because he took a deflection. It was a great strike by Jones. He should have just asked the center forward not to touch the ball, and it would have been a good goal.
Yeah, so tough break there for the Bulldogs.
And now you see the center official coming over. He's going to give an explanation to the Holmes associate coach, Osmain Calabari, I believe. I always mispronounce his name. But he's going to give an explanation. Unfortunately, the head coach for Holmes wasn't able to be here today, Coach Matt Convertino. I think he was battling an illness. And so we definitely send our sympathies to him. Hopefully he gets to feeling better. And Osmain's done a really good job as the associate coach. And on the women's side, Wesley Noble's done a really good job with that program as the associate coach as well. And so sometimes the head coach isn't necessarily need to travel whenever you've got great associates like what Holmes does.
So a tough break there for the Bulldogs as the goal was called off. And now the Indians with it. And then nice play that time by Barker to come in and take it away. Now tries to squeeze it ahead, but ICC there steps in front of it. Good job by the Indians. That was Brian Huckabee who is checked in here in the second half. He's going to try to sprint down the pitch. Has an opportunity here for Huckabee. Huckabee's just going to take it in on his own, and he fires, and no, but there's the touch at the end. Well, let's take a look at that one on Little Caesars instant replay. Let the Bulldogs just kind of gave up on the play, allowed Huckabee to come in, and Fair got a touch on it, and then finishing it off there for the Indians was Boyd with the goal.
And that's just a different wrinkle that Huckabee brings to a game. You know, just being diligent and getting that ball down the line, and making something out of nothing. He's just around the back line. The line thinks that he's going to cross it in. He selfishly takes it even closer to the goal and takes a shot. And then with Boyd coming in on the weak side, he's able to poke one in for just probably the easiest goal of his collegiate career so far. So all credit to him now because this is where they wanted to be. They wanted to be at 3-0 with max points. And fortunate for the offside call and that free kick and how it changed the dynamic of the game 3 minutes later to then get that third goal.
And mass substitutions were sent in by the Indians, one for the Bulldogs as Corbin Martin checked in for Holmes. And I believe 5 or 6 guys came in that opportunity for the Indians. 3-0 now is the advantage in favor of ICC. 12:50 to play in the contest, trying to complete the sweep of the Bulldogs. Lady Indians defeated number 17 Holmes in the first match of the day, 3-2. Coach, a good crowd out today. As we said, temperatures unnecessarily hot here for October. But still another good crowd always coming out to support the ladies and the guys here.
No, absolutely. And, as the season goes on and success of teams, we've been on a good stretch, and the men's team has as well, too. When you put a good product out there, more and more people want to come out and watch. So we know our crowds are going to grow, and we're thankful for that. It's awesome. It's always a great environment. I think we have one of the neatest setups in all of the MACJC. You have some that you see grandstands, and we have adequate stands. But what's nice about it is parents and fans are able to bring out their own tents, and you see them set up shop kind of in the shade areas all across the field. So there's no designated seating. You just kind of first to arrive gets those spots, and they'll bring their families out. They'll bring their dogs out. They'll bring picnic items. Fortunately, we haven't had any grills set out because I don't think we could do that. It may be a distraction. It certainly would be a distraction from our concession stand, but it's just a great environment here at Itawamba during game day.
Yeah, and it's a real tailgate atmosphere, I guess you can say. It real adds to the fun, festive atmosphere, especially when you get a good, lively crowd here, as we typically see during postseason play. And, of course, a lot of times it's difficult for people, especially road teams, to send people up here when you play in the afternoon, 1 and 3 o'clock start, typically 2 and 4. So, yeah, we do appreciate all those fans that have turned out to support both the Lady Indians and Indians all season long. And then also want to give a shout-out to everybody that's watched here on Let'sGoICCTV.com, and a special hello to those that are watching in support of Holmes this afternoon. I know Steve Diffie, who has the MACJC soccer plan on DirecTV, is probably tuning in as well. Of course, he's the SID. He's the do-it-all, I should say, at Holmes. And we'll see Diffie Thursday night as Holmes will come to town for football, as it'll be the Davis Ford pregame show coming your way right here on the Red Channel on Let's Go ICC TV. And then we'll also be available on Super Talk Mississippi, that First American National Bank coming your way. First American National Bank opening kick coming your way at 6:30. As this ball popped way up in the air, being pinballed around, and Holmes lets it settle. Wants to fire, and this shot's going to go wide with 10 minutes to play here in the contest. We do encourage you to visit our YouTube page. Simply search Let's Go ICC. You can see highlights from today's match. Of course, those will be up tomorrow. Then you can see previous matches, and also take a look at behind the scenes with the Lady Indian soccer team when y'all traveled earlier this year. We appreciate the ladies basically commandeering my GoPro and another camera and taking us through the travels with you guys. So an interesting look there for the Lady Indians earlier on this season. Of course, you can just search Lady Indians soccer on there as well. As this shot is fired, it's going to be wide, and they do have their own channel that you can tune in. And of course, at the end of the season, we'll have all these previous matches available. We do not like to archive those early for scouting purposes for other teams.
That.
So just putting that out there, because a lot of people ask, hey, where can I go back and watch this? I'm like, wait till about November.
We don't have too many secrets, but the secrets we do have, we want you to pay admission to come and watch. Yes. And it is free admission.
It is.
And that was something else too I thought was pretty neat. We had a good attendance with some of the four-year universities in the area. Power 5 school came out to watch, and also had some Division II schools here, NAIA school, and some other Division I programs that came out to watch. And that's just a testament to what's going on within our league. There's good soccer that's being played both on the women's side and on the men's side, and these players are getting more and more opportunities than maybe what they have in years past.
So ICC with it, they do lead at 3-0. Sends this one ahead. This is Chandler. Chandler looking for the cross to O'Daniel. O'Daniel leaves it back to Marquez, and he scores. Just great movement and great grit that time, as that was a tough goal scored. Beautiful assist by O'Daniel. His second assist of the day as Marquez sends that one home. Coach, this is becoming a trend for the Indians, and you know Sully's probably not a big fan. Yes, you're getting 4 goals, but they're all coming in the second half. Sully will be like, look, guys, give me a little bit of breathing room. And he scores a few of these in the first half.
And, it's credit to the opposition. I mean, he was even saying that to me at halftime. It's just, it's not bragging, but it is respectful. Like, these teams know how dynamic Itawamba can be going forward. So when you're sitting in on them, it's going to make it very tough in the first half to go and get goals. But what happens is if you stick to that, you don't get a goal. It turns into moments where then eventually the blocks are going to break, and you just keep staying and plugging away. And this is what takes place. That first goal opens up, leads to the second goal. Second goal makes it easier for the third, and that third goal makes it even simpler for the fourth.
So Holmes with it now, trying to find a way to break into this contest. 4-0 is the score with 8 minutes to play. Up next for Holmes, they'll host East Central in a big-time division match, and then they'll head to Northwest, and they'll host Oxford Emory and close out the season with 3 straight home matches. Oxford Emory, Hines, and Pearl River to close out the season, much like ICC closes out the season with 3 straight home matches. As here comes Rodriguez now. Rodriguez wanting to go to work. Crosses over the defender, now looking to go across the middle. And that was a handball, no call. Probably 4-0 contest is why that one wasn't called. As the Indians keep possession with it, now looking to go to work. Trying to send it across the middle, and it's going to be broken up. And ICC with a 4-0 advantage. Let's go ahead and talk about how ICC closes out the season. Northwest at home. Then the ladies go to Southwest Tennessee on the 15th. The Indians will host Andrew College here on the 15th. Coach, I'm going to try to go with you guys to that Southwest Tennessee match myself.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
And Lee's going to be here, try to broadcast the Andrew match. And then we'll close out the season against Meridian on sophomore day. That's going to be a fun day for us because we go to Southwest for football the night before that and then turn around and come back. So we hopefully will get here in time for that 1 p.m.
Sounds about right.
Kickoff.
That's how my weekend's about to go. We're traveling down to Hines, and then I have to turn around and be in Tuscaloosa on Saturday morning. So I think we're ETA of arrival time back here in Fulton around 3:30 in the morning.
Hey.
And I've got to be at Tuscaloosa at 7 in the morning.
So basically you just want to get home and...
Yeah, I'm going to try to get some sleep on that bus ride. And, man, that is great drivers.
Yes.
And but that road down 25, it is not the smoothest. So
It is not. And let's go back to that point. You touched on it there, and this is a group of guys that really don't get the credit they deserve, and that's Kevin, D, and Mike. We've got 3 guys in the bus shop that do a great job not only driving the buses, keeping our vehicles road ready, and keeping you guys on the road. And not only that, but and this is one thing that a lot of people don't realize, there's a lot of people on those buses. And so there's a lot of lives that they are over whenever they step behind the wheel, but they're just quality individuals. I know whenever y'all go to matches, Mike and Dee are out there typically watching and supporting the kids, and they stay interactive with the kids, and that reflects in the attitudes of the kids when they do go on these road trips.
Yeah, and they allow us to perform freshman karaoke and not be disruptive on bus rides, and they allow us to get quick Zaxby's to-go meals so we can eliminate sitting in a restaurant, and they're very aware that we're not the cleanest, but they allow us to clean up afterwards. And I mean, it's just they do.
They get it.
Yeah, and it's like everybody else in junior college level. It's like it seems we all wear multiple hats, and those guys are no different.
Yeah.
And even on home matches, they come and support us and root our teams on. And it's really just a neat dynamic.
And no matter how many times I volunteer, D will not let me drive. So.
And just getting a little love actually out of the guys down at the bus shop, so they must be tuning in and hearing us in the live stream. So Darius and the rest of you guys, we do thank you for everything that you do.
Yeah, we'll be coming back late basketball games, and I'm like, D, you good? Let me drive. He's like, Gore, I am good. I promise you. So. And those are some guys. Now we talk about the quick turnaround. Sometimes they'll have to go and drive a late night and then turn around and got shuttled the next day.
That's
so,
right.
We do appreciate them and all the good that they do. ICC getting some more guys into the contest here, leading it 4-0 with inside 5 minutes. So the clock will stop every time ICC makes a substitution inside 5 minutes with a 4-0 advantage here. And the Indians do have another corner opportunity coming up here. Going to try to get highlights to WTVA and WCBI this evening from today's matches as this ball sent inside. And, just tried to send that one home, did Huckabee. Just couldn't quite find a solid lick on the ball. Huckabee comes up and battles for it, and a good call by the referee as Huckabee didn't necessarily hit him hard, just showed him enough to get advantage on the ball.
That's just Huckabee's game. If he sees the ball and he feels like he can go get it, he's going to do his best to do so. Sometimes it just unfortunately leads to a foul.
So Holmes will put this one in play with 4:15 to go here. The Indians trying to complete the sweep of the Bulldogs. And, of course, a lot of people are like, Gore, it's 4-0 with 4:15 to play. What are you talking about trying? It's an MACJC, folks. Crazy things can happen. And when they can happen, they typically do. As this ball being pinballed around, and ICC will finally control it. This is Ruben Perez with it. Lost it, but there's ICC to get it back. Pops it forward to Huckabee, and loose ball on the pitch. And Holmes does a great job of coming out and battling that one away. And now here comes the Bulldogs trying to get out in transition, looking to go over the top. Playing good send that time, as great defense, though, by the Indians to take it away. As Jacobs was trying to beat his guy one-on-one, that was Noah LaCastro, and he did a great job of being his defender, playing his defense, and getting the ball back for the Indians. Now 3:20 to play here, and ICC maintains their 4-0 advantage. So our next broadcast will be Thursday night. Football here on the Red Channel, 6 o'clock, with the Davis Ford pregame show, and 6:30 with the First American National Bank opening kick. You'll want to be sure and tune in there. If you're on the road, you can listen on 101.9 FM. Now, we'll say this, one thing we do, of course, we don't do soccer on the radio, but TV7, the TV station I used to work for, they have ran some of our soccer matches this summer, so we do appreciate them and all those viewers on Channel 98. Had somebody text me the other day, it's like, dude, I'm sitting here watching ICC soccer on television. Where is ICC not at?
That's right.
So we do appreciate the fine folks back there at TV7 Channel 98 for running those matches.
And because of the product you guys are able to put out for us too. I mean, we're global. Just had an international text while we were in this live stream broadcast, just talking about how they were congratulating us on our women's match and enjoying the men's match from the UK.
Well, the center judge has been waving his arm to start the clock. Has been running for 20 seconds. So apparently he's maybe not wanting to stop. So this ball is going to be cleared out of bounds. And it will stay with the Indians inside 2.5 to play. I know Maisie's family was watching. They tweeted at us throughout that contest. Let me go back to the Twitters. If you want to follow us, it's at Let's Go ICC. Yes, folks, I'm aware that Twitters is not plural. I just call it that. So we'll see if anybody's hit us up on Twitter at Let's Go ICC.
Took a deflection off the post, and now you can see Itawamba trying to lock it in. And even though it's just under 2 minutes to go and being 4-0, Itawamba's still pressing, trying to get that fifth one to go their way.
Well, and when we talk about men's soccer being streamed, there's going to be one person always watching. I'll give you a guess who that is.
Let's see. Always. You have Miss Sullivan, Coach Mike Sullivan's mom, probably the biggest Itawamba soccer supporter. Even on the women's side, we've had a few of her granddaughters on the team, and now even though they've stepped away and they've continued on to their 4-year university careers, and even now outside for one of them now into the workforce, she's always going to root us on. And even from time to time, whenever we're close to the neighborhood and down in Madison, they've even invited us down to their house for sandwiches and hamburgers and stuff. So it's a good idea and concept, but I don't know if you really want 55 student athletes coming into your house.
Yeah, you're going to have a lot of financial gains
That's
to be able to feed that many
That's
mouths.
a lot of Rotel dip.
And Grace Valley also checking in, saying congrats on the win and appreciating the coverage there. Of course, she's at MUW now.
That's
is that
right.
correct?
Yeah, so she's an alumnus from last year. She's a former player for us, came in from Scotland, and now she's doing great things at Mississippi University for women.
As we're inside a minute to play now before this one goes final, as Holmes sends this one out of bounds. We do appreciate everyone that's tuned in this afternoon here on Let'sGoICCTV.com, the Red Channel. Lee Adams has been on the sideline taking photos today for ICCimages.com. You can get digital downloads from today's contest and other events on campus, especially with it being homecoming week. All those available for $1. Raphael Henry up top running the camera. CJ Adams was with us earlier today doing color commentary, and this has been the voice of Coach David Strother. His Lady Indians won 3-2 in the first match of the day, and the Indians will take a 4-0 victory here in the second. This is Adam Gore, ICC Sports Information Director and Director of Media Relations, saying have a good evening, and as always, Roll Tribe.
Ever since you got that license, you haven't stopped moving forward. Now that you're older and on the move, you need a safer place to keep your money. We get it. A student checking account frees you up with things like mobile check deposit to take care of that check from grandma without having to stop at a bank. Pay with your phone when you're out with friends. And stop worrying about ATM fees. We'll pay you back for those. Worry about your future, not your money. And know that we'll stick with you wherever you go. Renaissance Bank. Understanding you. Member FDIC.